On this first box, we get things like the charger, and it is a 2 amp charger. May be able to charge it in about 5 hours. Inside of this other box, obviously say that we have things like the pedals. We get some tools. We get the manuals, and these manuals seem to be quite detailed. We also get a reflector. We get the bell and some zip ties and some end caps for your nuts. Yo, what is up guys? Today we got something quite amazing here. We are talking about the Airwest Pioneers 1.2 e-bike, which comes with 26-inch by 4-inch tires. They're made by 𝗕𝗜𝗘𝗖𝗧𝗥𝗜𝗍. It does have a Ba-fang motor, 750 watts with a peak power of 1000 watts. This one also features a Samsung battery, which is 48 volts, 15 amp hours. And I'm really looking forward to see what's going to be the range on this one. Typically, I get about 28 miles riding it hard on pedal assist number 5. This one features a front headlight. It doesn't have a tail light, but that's okay. We can always purchase, I guess, a battery operated one and recharge it when it's needed. We do have to remove a couple of things that came from factory to protect the bike during shipment in order to complete the assembly. So right now we are hooking up here the front tire. There's also a spacer on the caliper itself so that you can slide the rotor through. You have to remove that spacer, and it's pretty straightforward, guys. This one also features hydraulic brakes on the front and the rear. We get the pedals. Keep in mind that the right side is always going to be clockwise. The left side is always counterclockwise, in which the sticker got a little bit damaged from shipment. Nothing too major. Overall, it came very neat in the box. The tires had to be inflated to about 30 psi on the front and the rear as well. It does have a fat seat, which we will get here in just a second. You can always acquire a suspension seat knowing that this doesn't have a rear suspension. That's an option that you have, but for right now we're going to leave it as it is. And everything is just really good, guys, so far. Here we have the display, the keys, and now we're just simply removing the dust from the bike so that we can get ready to check on the display and go for a ride. Alright guys, so we finished with the assembly. Let's go ahead and take a look at this 48 volt 15 amp hour battery. I believe you have to turn the key to the left, and then there's a little latch here on the front side. You have to flick it, and once you do, the battery comes right off. And right here we can once again confirm that it is in fact a 48 volts 15 amp hours. As per the controls, we have a different setup this time on this e-bike, and every e-bike that I test always has something that I consider to be kind of unique. In this case, we have a thumb throttle here on the left side. Typically we have a twist throttle on the right side, and even if it is a thumb throttle, it is still on the right side. This one is on the left side. We have the controller, which provides the power key, the information, the headlight key, and the plus and minus. You get your hydraulic brakes here and the TFT display. We have a bell, and to install it is super simple. Just take out that Phillips screw, spread it, put it on the handlebar, put the screw back on, and you're all set. We have our Shimano system here for the derailleur, and that's pretty much it, guys. So let's go ahead and get it started here. We have a very cool animation that I've never seen on other brands, at least myself. And we have a very cool user interface. So as you can tell, we have a bar-like speedometer here, and also it gives you the actual mileage on the middle side. And also we have things like trip. Then you have your pedal assist. To increase it, just hit the plus. It goes up to pedal assist number 5. To decrease it, just hit the minus. Then we have the battery indicator right here. We are at about 80%. If you press and hold the light button, it turns it on. We don't have a tail light, and if you do the same thing in reverse, it turns it off. You have the information here. If you press it, it gives you the odometer. Then it gives you the max, the average, the time, and then it goes back into trip. Now if you press and hold the plus and minus, that's where you get into the extra settings menu. So you have the wheel diameter, you don't want to mess with this. You have your speed limit, so if you hit the I button, that takes you into it. So the speed limit is set up to 28. Then 25, that's for your throttle. Unfortunately, you can't change the throttle side. So when you're pressing the throttle, with my weight, it did about 23 miles an hour. But then when I pedal, on the other hand, it actually went a little bit faster. It did 29 miles, which is really cool. I just tested it maybe about a minute ago. To go back, you hit info again, and then to navigate, here we have the brightness. To navigate, just hit the minus. We have the voltage, advanced setting, dormancy. This is for when you want your bike to turn off automatically. The units, you have password, factory, display, and then to exit as well, guys. So it is a very simplistic type of system here. And yeah, I think we are ready to rock and roll in this baby. Let's see how it does. Alrighty guys, so we have this thing all set and ready to go. The battery is currently at 100% after 8 miles that I tested it yesterday, and I didn't charge it just because I want to see how well this battery truly holds. Remember that they're claiming that it has Samsung cells, and I think that's one of the strong points of this particular e-bike is going to be the Ba-fang motor, hydraulic brakes, and the Samsung cell battery. As typical, guys, you will first do a little speed test. We are on pedal assist number 1, and yes, mentioning the battery here, guys, I gotta say that well, first of all, the display is not viewable with polarized glasses. That's a little bit of a cons, and under the sunlight it doesn't do that well, so we can call that a complaint right now. However, guys, I put 9 miles, almost 9 miles into this e-bike, and we are still at 100%. Yes, 100% after 9 miles, which is I don't know if it's a glitch on the display or if in fact it does you know, it does have 100%, which I doubt, but we're going to continue with the test here and just see how it does. Pedal assist 1 is taking us to 6.5 miles per hour, and yes, it is calibrated, guys. So right now the display says 6 miles, and this is saying 6 miles, just to give you that as a reference. Pedal assist mode number 2, and then this one here will take us, let's see, it says on the display almost 10 miles per hour, which is typical. You got pedal assist number 3. This one did a big jump, so it went from 10 miles to 14, or almost 14. It says 13.5. Then we have pedal assist number 4, and pedal assist number 4 takes us to 17 miles per hour. Now this e-bike is currently restricted, and it is unrestrictable as of right now, meaning that on pedal assist number 5, which is the next one we have here, I can only do up to 19-20 miles per hour, and then you can feel it holding back on you. So right now it's very nice and torquey, and as soon as I hit the 20 miles per hour mark, there we go, it just pulled me back. You can feel it as if it was just letting it go, and it doesn't want to go any further. Now here's the cool part about this e-bike. On the pedal side, if you pretend like you're pedaling, even if it's slightly, then it does the 28 miles per hour, in which right now you're getting to. But I'm not even pedaling really, I'm just moving them forward. And yes, that's how it gets quite fast, guys. Definitely had the potential to do up to 32 miles an hour. With my weight, 217 pounds, I think it is, we can still do 28 miles an hour without an issue. Alright guys, so right in front of me we have what I call the steepest side hill here on this park, which is the 𝗕𝗟𝗘𝗖 Park. And as always, we're going to leave it on pedal assist number 5. We're going to climb it. It is about between 15-16% incline, and we're going to see how it does. Now in this particular case, For the sake of the video, we are not going to pedal. We're just going to give it throttle and only throttle. So let's see. Here we go. Alright, so here's where it starts. Very easy. It is in fact increasing speed right now. We're doing 15 miles per hour. That was quite easy, guys. Very, very quick. No issues whatsoever. So now what I will do next is go downhill, and then we're going to come right back up and see if it's going to be the same story doing it off-road. So we know this e-bike has a mountain bike style frame, and so I just want to see if we are able to do it. Now keep in mind that the battery is at 100%. We are on pedal assist number 5. And here we are doing it without pedaling. Alright, this is the Ba-fang motor, 48 volts, 15 amp hour battery. And right about here, guys, it is struggling, so I have to help it a little bit. Unfortunately, it is not like a dual motor e-bike, which can do it without help. I just had to slightly help it. It wasn't too bad, but yes, it does need a little bit of help if you're doing it off-road. On-road, it's a lot easier. We are well aware that the brakes on this e-bike, the Airwest, are hydraulic. Now, this is my observation with these brakes. When I first got the bike that I started riding it around, I noticed they needed a little bit of brake-in because at first the braking power was terrible. But I didn't give up. I said, well, let me just give it a chance. Let me use it for a couple of miles and see how it does. And indeed, they got better after braking in a little bit. So I'm assuming they have some coating on their either not calipers, but the rotors. They have some sort of coating on there that maybe causes it to be a little bit slippery. So you have to wear that out or even clean it with brake cleaner so that they're not slippery. But as of right now, let's do here about almost 20 miles an hour. There we go. We're doing 19, and we're going to do a stopping power right about here. And yes, guys, they are very aggressive. That took a good, I don't know, 15 feet approximately to come to a complete stop. They're not terrible. They do make a little bit of noise sometimes. They squeak, especially the front one here. So maybe if I clean it a little bit better, it gets quieter, but the stopping power is definitely there. When it comes to the Shimano system on the backside here, this is the 𝗘𝗘𝗧𝗧𝗘𝗥𝗬, and it has a single speed crank on the front. It does the job quite well. I haven't had an issue yet. It came well calibrated as well. All right, guys, so now after riding it for several miles, maybe like 3-4 miles, the battery is claiming to be at 93%. So finally it is decreasing, but it has been after 10 miles in total, which is what it has now. If you look here at the trip, I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but it says 9.6 miles. When I first started testing this battery, we were at 0. Some of it was obviously off camera, and the battery seems to be lasting much better than other batteries in this same category, which is 48 volts, 15 amp hours, maybe because we have those Samsung cells in there. All right, guys, so now we're going to do here a off-road test, but this is a passive off-road, as I call it. It is solid terrain, meaning that ground is not fluffy or smushy, whatever you guys want to call it, and we are covered in grass. So off-roading on this thing, guys, is really a breeze, and the front suspension is doing its job very well. But now, as you can hear, my voice sounds a little bit choppy. That's because of the rear side not having suspension, but the seat is very cushiony. It has a lot of cushion into it, and it makes it a little bit easier to absorb that impact from not having rear suspension. But I would say the real fix here will be adding a suspension post, which we can find on Amazon, and it is a direct fit. Or if the company added rear suspension, that would have been awesome, but that's not the case here, guys. So you're gonna have to either deal with it or get a suspension seat to make things a little bit better.
See up to the top, locking it in. And then right here, the KGB off number 2. Swinging out wide, asking for some high fives. And now Daniel taking a hard heel.
I've been noticing something quite important here with the battery is that if you're not using it, the percentage bumps up to about 97. But then if you use it hardcore, use it at full throttle, or even if it's pedaling but you're going fast, then the percentage goes down very quickly to about 90, and then it goes up when you're not using it, which is a little bit of a fluctuation there, and it might make it a little bit confusing to know exactly what your battery status is. But what I can tell you is that it's been very impressive that even after 11-12 miles, the battery still has such a percentage. So I would say this one, guys, in terms of the range, I will have to give it a different rating this time, because I think it'll last way more than 30 miles. Also, guys, this e-bike feels super nice and rugged. It feels like you have something secure, something that will hold doing a lot of aggressive things, including off-roading. And that's a great thing to tell. I mean, I've seen bikes that they felt so fragile that I was actually afraid of doing certain tests on it. And a lot of those e-bikes you guys haven't seen in the channel, because typically I just refuse to review them when they feel cheap. I mean, there's a difference between saving money and getting value versus saving a couple dollars and getting a very crappy product. To me, that doesn't make sense. I mean, yes, you're saving money, but you're not getting that quality. Well, guys, I think we have done enough with the Airwest Pioneers 1.2 to know that it is a great quality e-bike. The only two things I didn't like, and this is with pretty much every e-bike out there, is the fact that it doesn't have rear suspension. That's one of them. And second, that the display cannot be viewed entirely with polarized glasses. Besides that, this is a very nice e-bike for the money. And even if it was a lot more in terms of money, well, you are getting the parts like the Ba-fang motor right here. You're getting a battery with Samsung cells, and well, overall, a pretty nice bike. The only issue here also is that if you're going to transport it, it doesn't fold, and it is a little bit on the heavy side. The controls are very easy to use as well. You get your little dial pad here, and your display, as I said, your little bell. A actual horn would have been nicer. The lights do work very nicely as well on the front side. Of course, it is not nighttime, but I did use it during the night, and they are great, guys. With this being said, if you have any questions, just leave your comments below. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, comment, and share, and I'll see you guys on my next one.